On behalf of Team MUN, I take great pleasure in inviting our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri K.S. Subramanian, Additional Deputy Comptroller and Auditor General. He has a rich and diverse experience in auditing the state governments, railways, and defense, having participated in numerous international conferences, meetings, and workshops in about 45 countries. He has actively audited various bodies of the United Nations, like the World Health Organization, World Food Program, UN peacekeeping operations, and United Nations Secretariat. He has presented audit reports at International Atomic Energy Agency and World Intellectual Property Organization. He has attended several meetings of the UN Board of External Auditors and calls his experience at the UN truly universal. I now invite the chief guest to share his experiences.
Respected Ms. Sujata, Principal of National Public School, Gopalapuram, Ms. Harshini, Secretary General of NPS MUN 2021, distinguished delegates of various member states, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to one and all. I consider it a privilege to be invited to talk at the inaugural session of the 7th edition of MUN program of the school. I can vividly remember the excitement and the enthusiasm that was palpable when my daughter participated in the MUN programs 6-7 years ago. She spent considerable time trying to learn about Cameroon, the country which she represented, and to understand the issues for discussion. I'm sure that you would all be experiencing similar emotions and would have learned a lot more about the United Nations in the process. Now, I will briefly share some of my experiences in interacting with the United Nations organizations. I would say that some of these experiences have been personally very enriching for me in my professional career as well. I would start with the World Health Organization, a global organization that has offices in more than 150 countries. When I audited the World Health Organization more than 10 years ago, I noticed that they had created a global service center at Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, from where they centrally processed various personal claims of employees like leave, travel bills, education allowances, etc. This was a novelty at that time. This led in huge saving of manpower and also provided various other benefits to the organization. I was so enamored by this idea that I immediately proposed implementation of this shared service center in our department, and a pilot for this project was also successfully done in my office. Now I'll move to the World Food Program. My interaction at the World Food Program has enabled me to realize that the employees of UN work with such passion to improve the lives of the most underprivileged people of the world. I carried out an audit of the World Food Program at Somalia in 2010. Many of you would know that Somalia at that time was considered one of the most dangerous places in the world because of the strife between the national government and the terrorists. Despite the logistic challenges and the security concern, the WFP employees toiled hard in discharging the work and to ensure that food assistance reached the poor people of the country. There are some employees of the WFP who personally suffered huge hardships, but that did not deter WFP nor its employees from its goal of reaching food assistance to the most impoverished people of Somalia. That experience made me to realize that if each one of us can work with passion in whatever we do, I think the world will be a much better place to live. I had similar experience while auditing the UN peacekeeping operations in Uganda also. I had also participated in several programs of the UN on Sustainable Development Goals. I feel that the Sustainable Development Goals are the most comprehensive and ambitious goals that the UN has charted for the member nations. The 17 SDGs cover a wide gamut of activities ranging from eradication of poverty, public health, education, action against hunger, climate action, strengthening marine life to strengthening national institutions. The UN has to be applauded for its vision in preparing this goal, which, if fully realized, would make the world a much better place to live. My interactions with the UN has also broadened my horizons, as the employees at the UN are from the nooks and corners of the world, from the smallest South Pacific island countries to the largest and most developed. Meeting people from such diverse backgrounds and culture has made me to realize that there are always drastically different ways of looking at issues. It has made me to accept people and the views of others the way they are. I understand that 145 students from 27 schools are participating in the program. I wish to really congratulate the school and the organizers of MUN for managing to attract such a wide participation in these challenging times. I also notice that the issues that have been chosen for deliberation in this MUN, ranging from human rights violations to the situation in Yemen, Jammu and Kashmir reorganization bill, etc., are topical, thought-provoking, and conducive for healthy deliberations. I'd like to conclude by saying that the Indians have generally done exceptionally well at the United Nations. The Indians have occupied very high positions, and there are a lot of Indians who continue to occupy high positions. For instance, our Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, he worked as the Under Secretary General of the UN. Ms. Lakshmi Puri, she was a former Deputy Executive Director of the UN Women, and she was an Assistant Secretary General as well. Mr. Chandramouli Ramanathan, he is currently working as the Assistant Secretary General of the UN, and is also the controller managing the budget of the UN. And for all of you, it would be very happy to know that he is from Namma Chennai. I'm confident that many of you would get an opportunity to work for the United Nations in future and reach the topmost echelons of the UN. I wish the school, the organizers, and the delegates from the various member states success in the next 2 days of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a glimpse of the UN and the work involved in international relations. It was truly inspiring to all prospective diplomats gathered here.